Welcome back, Core Coaching Community. Kevin Pedra here again live. I have my friend Junaid Ahmed with us from Hacks and Hobbies, and another great speaker for our summit coming up February 10th. He's going to be giving us some valuable information on setting up a home studio. I'm really excited about this, and I know we're going to kind of nerd out on some of this stuff because I know Junaid loves this, and we've been talking behind the scenes. Maybe he'll get to show you some of his cool little tricks here. But before we get into that, welcome, Junaid. How are you?
Kevin, I am doing excellent. Thank you so much for bringing me on and, introing to the community. Excited to be here.
Yes, you're very welcome, man. So yeah, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us what you do. Tell us your sweet spot, man.
Absolutely. So I have been a tech enthusiast for as long as I can remember. And my professional thing that I do is I'm a user experience designer turned storyteller when I started my podcast a couple of years ago. And it's been just amazing creating podcasts, talking to people, having these intimate conversations, digging deep into their journey and what made them, what brought them here. So what brought me here was my passion and my innate need and curiosity into technology. And so what I'll be talking about in here, or what I'll be talking about in the virtual summit is how to set up a studio and why I set up my studio. Because we all know what a studio does. It enables you to, number one, click the record button more often because you spent that extra time in the beginning, set it up the right way. So yeah, man, that's what I'm going to be talking about. Hopefully answer your question correctly, and I didn't really go too much over.
There's no perfect way to do it, man. We just show up, we have fun, and we connect, man.
Exactly.
I'm really excited for you to show some of these tricks, with your setup, and you make it sound so easy. I mean, we've had a lot of conversations behind the scenes about how actually easy it is to look so much more professional. Yeah. We're going to be talking about that. You're going to give our users an opportunity, for those that are interested in podcasting, video production, all that kind of stuff, to say we can really up level pretty inexpensively, is what it sounds like from our conversations.
Absolutely. So there are different levels of customization, levels of gear acquisition syndrome, right? So it all comes down to, hey, what do I already have? How can I already use the hardware or the equipment that we have right now? What natural resources do I have available? And when I talk about natural resources, the window or the sunlight is our natural resource. You don't have to buy lights because sunlight is the perfect example. In fact, all the lighting that is set up in studios is to mimic that sunlight, that white light. It brings out the color tones on your skin. So that's what I focus on. What do we have already, and how can we go from that first grade to second grade to third grade, and upping your level up.
Yeah, I mean, I know it excites me. I don't know if it'll excite them as much, but will you kind of show them that angle, that where you can switch your camera and you
Absolutely.
Can I just thought that was so cool, and I'm so excited about learning about some of these things. But
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so what I've got going on for my setup, I'm using a full frame mirrorless camera with a 40 millimeter lens on my main camera. Then I have a secondary camera on this side. I'm using another full frame mirrorless with a 24 millimeter lens on it. And then my rear view right now, it's zoomed into a 50 millimeter, so you can kind of see what's going on in my setup.
I love it. So cool. I don't know. I mean, whatever. That excites me. I think it's so cool. And I'm sure that obviously excites you because you're the one who's built the whole thing. And
yeah.
But it was great through our conversations how simple you make it. And of course, we can make it professional grade and we can spend thousands of dollars, but there's a lot of tricks and tools and things that we can really do to make our video, our voice, our presentation, even the way that we look at the screen. And you're going to be able to give us a lot of those tricks and tips during the summit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking to share. What cameras to get, why to get a certain camera, teleprompter, screen on the teleprompter to make you look even more attentive, because I'm looking directly at you, Kevin. but it looks, I kind of have like my eyes going a little bit right, left because I'm looking at that screen.
Yep.
But then my camera is right behind this screen. So it makes it really powerful communication, and especially when you're recording content, you want to be looking at the guest or looking at the people in the audience. Like, hey, I'm talking to you, Kevin. I'm talking
Yeah.
to you, uh, live streamer buddy.
Exactly, right? Yeah, it looks different. Like, see, I got to look over at you this way,
Mm-hmm.
right? Otherwise, I don't get to look at you. And eye contact is so important to me.
Yeah.
And just being able to experience that. So that's going to be really neat. I'm really excited. I know there's a lot of people on here that podcast and do videos, and it's going to be really exciting to learn from you and to, see how easy it is. And,
Absolutely.
people have the opportunity to learn more about you and what you do and how you do it. So really cool. So do you have any words of wisdom for anybody in this group that is interested in podcasting or video production or anything like that you'd like to share with them today?
Absolutely. Here's the funny thing, right? We're all using smartphones that are so much more powerful than cameras out there. So the one thing that's probably holding you back and holding me back is to just start, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you have a smartphone, you have a smartphone, or you have a computer, you have a laptop. Just start recording the content. Just start telling your story, because that's the main stuff that people come to. The technology can be upgraded over time, but when you learn to speak, when you learn to tell your story, I think that's what then shows up authentically through the camera. Now, I have been talking and I've been doing live streams for a while now. And before, I wasn't doing that. I was just recording video, just getting the practice of talking to people, talking my story. And there's ton of footage of me just talking to the camera while driving to work. I had a GoPro mounted right above my steering wheel, and I would just talk to it as I'm driving, just to get in the practice of talking and telling my story. So just get started. When I started my podcast 2.5 years ago, almost 3, I found this app, Anchor.fm. It was on my smartphone. I was like, holy smokes, I can record my podcast on my phone. I don't need anything else. I was like, I am sold. So my first episode, if you go listen, was recorded in my car. I had no idea what the podcast was going to be called, right? I just started and I just got that boulder rolling, because a lot of times we are the person holding ourselves back. So just get started.
Yep, I love it. And that's it. That's kind of what the whole idea of this Dream, Believe, Create Summit's all about. It's about, learning from other professionals, learning from people who are already doing it, and giving you the inspiration to get out there and just go for it, right?
Yes.
Like, there is nothing. It's like you're going to stumble, you're going to fail, it's going to look crappy. Everybody that I've ever talked to about writing a book or starting a podcast or creating videos, it's always like, ooh, I look back and I'm like, ooh, those weren't that good, right? Like, and we just have to break that cycle. We just got to get out there and do it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That's an excellent point, because when you look back to your first episode, and I keep pointing people back to my first episode, and I'm not going to take it down, because that shows where I started and how far did I get. You see that entire journey. MKBHD, a really popular YouTuber, he started about 11 years ago. And, he still has that first video that he recorded from his webcam on his laptop, doing a review of the laptop. He was 19 years old. He was a young kid. And that video is still up there, right?
Yep.
And now he has like 11 plus million subscribers, and he's got like such high looking videos. He's interviewing Bill Gates, Elon Musk, these big names. So the key is to just get started and be consistent and keep going.
Yep, I love it.
Thank you,
Great,
Kevin.
man. Well, yeah, thank you, Junaid. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so excited. I think you're going to bring such a great value. And I know you've had a chance to meet with all the others, and it's a great group of professionals. I'm so excited about the summit. It's going to be hot. It's going to be a good deal. So, so again, as you guys know, I'm going to be interviewing all of the speakers, so you guys get that chance to really get the feel for who they are, what they're bringing to the table. I'm just going to be coming to you live for the next 2 weeks. Yes, it's going to be a lot, but I want you guys to have the opportunity to meet these wonderful people who I've connected with, and introducing you to my network. So,
nice.
So there we are. Thank you so much for coming, Junaid, and
You're welcome.
We'll be in touch.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Bye.